This is the ministry of Moses, part 100. We're going to take our text from Numbers 23, verse 7 to 12. Let us consider verse 7 to 12. And he took up the oracle and said, Balak, the king of Moab, has brought me from Aram, from the mountains of the east. Come, curse Jacob for me, and come, denounce Israel. How shall I curse whom God has not cursed? And how shall I denounce whom God have not denounced? For from the top of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I behold him, a people dwelling alone, not reckoning itself among the nations. Who can count the dust of Jacob or number them? Who can count the dust of Jacob or number 1/4 of Israel? Let me die the death of the righteous, and let my end be like his. Then Balak said to Balaam, What have you done to me? I took you to curse my enemies, and look, you have blessed them bountifully. So he answered and said, Must I not take heed to speak what the Lord has put in my mouth? Now from verse 7, we can see the deeper effect of the curse. It was not just a curse on the Israelites, but a curse on their root. The king wanted Balaam to curse their root. That was why the name Jacob was mentioned. If they successfully curse Jacob, who is the root, then automatically God will disown the people. And when that happens, it will become easy for the enemies to defeat them. You know, verse 8 shows the reason it was impossible for the people to be cursed and denounced. He could not place a curse on them because God has not placed a curse on them. From here we can see that curse makes way for more curses. If you have a curse on your life, that curse can give rise to more curses. If that negative utterance is not if that negative utterance is not reversed, it was not possible to curse them because there was no curse on them. If a man carries God's blessings upon his life, that blessings will make way for more blessings. The same way curses can reproduce, blessings can also be multiplied in a person's life. If you see a man battling with curses, note that it did not start just like that. He actually started with a curse. And because his life attracted a curse, it was then easy for more curses to enter, whether lawfully or unlawfully. It is impossible for a curse to get attached to a person without a reason. Don't live your life in such a way that you will be due for a curse. The moment a curse comes upon a man legally, then other curses will have access to come, either legally or illegally. If your life attracts a blessing, then you can be sure that the blessings will give rise to more blessings. Curses and blessings have rapid growth rates. It is you that will decide which one you want by choosing, by the way you choose to live your life. Both curses and blessings have rapid growth, but you are the one to choose the one you want by the way you live your life. Trying to curse a man that God has not caused is like a man who is trying to fill up a basket with water. Obviously, you can tell how impossible that action will be. Verse 9 reveal where he stood to attack Israel. They went to the top of the rocks. They wanted to see their formation, but all they saw was large number of people arranged in such a way that no curse can gain entrance into their midst. Your leader will determine the actualization of your destiny. No matter how glorious your future is, if you submit yourself to a leader who is not connected to God, you won't feature in your future picture. What Moses' leadership brought to the Israelites is not a small favor. Moses arranged the people orderly according to their tribe, and the ark of God was in the middle. This arrangement, you know, this arrangement that Moses gave to the Israelites was what made it impossible for their enemy to attack them. Even while they were not aware of their enemy's attempt, once they maintained that formation that Moses had given to them, it will be impossible for them to be caused. There is a formation or posture that the life of a man will have in the spirit that no devil will be able to overpower him, whether he is aware or not. This is what happened to the Israelites here. And everything boils down to the power of sound leadership. They were able to enjoy all this because they had a leader who was updated with the things of God. A leader that won't act until God speaks. Verse 10 reveals that the children of Israel had a very large population. This was captured in Balaam's prophecy. As a matter of fact, it revealed that as at that time, the people were uncountable. That was why they were referred to as the dust of Jacob. The word dust there means uncountable seeds. When the generations of a man is uncountable, you can call the seed you can call the seed dusts. Are you there? Now, when the generation of a man is countable, are you there? You can call them seeds. But when the generation of a man is uncountable, you call them dust. Even to count the 1/4 or 1/4 of the people is almost impossible. This is to show how impossible it will be trying to count all of them. Now, the prophet was supposed to place a curse on the people, but surprisingly, he began to desire the end of the people. He said, "Let me die the death of the righteous, and let my end be like his." In verse 11, Balak the king was tired of hearing Balaam speak good of those he was supposed to curse. He said, "You have blessed them bountifully instead of cursing them." The word bountifully here shows the degree of the blessings. He was moved by the Lord to bless them bountifully instead of cursing them bountifully. The mystery behind Balaam's utterance was revealed in verse 12. It was not that Balaam wanted to bless the people willingly. Left to him, he would have cursed them, because that was why he came into that city. And even the money for his cursing job has been paid. Imagine someone who traveled such a long distance, but yet he could not deliver. What happened is that anytime he opens his mouth to curse the people, the Lord will change those words of curses into blessing. So it is like a possession. He can't control it. He's not saying it because that is what he wants to say, but he cannot control it. He was contracted by the king as a cursing machine, but the will of God converted a cursing machine into a blessing machine. A cursing tool became a blessing tool. Your will is not stronger than God's will. Most of the time, when your will prevails over God's will, is because God allows it. If God wants, He can make your will impotent, just like He did to Prophet Balaam. So when you find out that your will is becoming stronger than the will of God in your life, it's just because God allows it. If God wants, He can make your will impotent and impose His will over your will. just like the case of Balaam.